Hey guys, and welcome back to another Factorio Workshop. As always, I'm joined by Zuri.
Greetings.
And today we're going over several Kovarex Enrichment builds. We did one of these quite a long time ago near the beginning of the series, so I decided let's do some more. Quick note, there are actually a lot of them, about 12 of them submitted so far, but that would be quite a lot to do in a video. So I just picked like the first 3 on the list. We will get to the rest in the future, so don't worry. And then we also have a Zuri improved version. So let's actually start. Let's start on the left here. So I've labeled these. This one is from Blast, and this one's a bit interesting. It actually utilizes some robots. I've only put 2 in here because you actually don't need many. And it includes a fuel cell builder as well. So essentially he requests the U238, which would be in the network, and dumps it in here. Any excess gets put into an active provider, which then gets put back into this network. And it exports the 235 and then sticks it on this belt, which is then put back into a chest and goes back into itself, essentially. And then the excess, when it gets above 40 in this chest, will go down, go to fuel cells, which will be made. And it looks like you'd have to jumpstart it a bit with the 238 and 235 potentially from over on this belt.
Bot assisted is kind of easy mode with these kind of builds.
Yeah, it does make it quite a bit easier. So if you are looking for that, then definitely a good way to do it here. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Is this broken? Did you rotate this on purpose, or?
Yeah, because it was kind of clogging the whole system. I don't think you're actually supposed to feed a constant full belt to this.
All right, so just as you get 235 from your mining, you put it down this line?
Mm-hmm. And then it feeds itself, although it looks like I may have done something wrong. It looks like this is not actually working correctly because it's putting it in the chest and then all of it is getting reinserted back into the machine and it like never actually builds up any in the chest. It looks like it's just kind of
Well, it's waiting. The output inserter is waiting for it to fill up, so I guess it's set for an entire crafting inside the box. So there's 3 crafts stored up, 1 in the box and 2 in the machine.
Okay, so it may just take a while, but from what I've looked at, it looks like it's just kind of going in circles here and never actually building more than 5 up in this chest.
But it'll take about 80 crafts before this box fills up enough to output.
Okay, then yeah, it's gonna take a while, but there you go. It has speed modules as well, and then this guy just grabs here, and any excess 238 is set to, if it's more than 40, dump back into the network. And so there's that one. Pretty good bot assisted, and these next ones are actually belt based. So, did you want to go over this one, Zuri, or would you like me to?
I could start on some of it. It's a pretty much a universal. I'm going to call it carrier network for the signal.
Mm-hmm.
So the box provides the input, and when there's 40, it moves it along, and you have to manually charge it the first time. And when the box is empty or has 1, it has different outputs. And when the box is empty, it can take out of the machine, out of the box onto the belt.
Right. I'm just putting a void here because it backed up due to the 238. But yeah. So it's kind of all wired together. It took a minute to look through this and figure it out. Like Zuri just said, essentially, when this box is empty here, it allows this inserter to work because this combinator says if there's 0 in this box, output A, and this guy can only work if A is more than 0. So he's actually going to take that extra one you get from the process first, set it in this box, and then the other 40 will be dumped into this box, which is wired to this combinator, which actually kind of says that it can't even dump until there's 1 in this box over here. So it's kind of all wired together. You can see it working here. And then once
It'll
this...
wait until it's empty before it empties out that one from inside the machine.
Yeah, exactly. And then it dumps it over here, and the 238 goes on this belt. However, the 238 goes down to continue feeding these other ones. This is actually tileable. It's only one stamp, but it does tile. However, it looks like the 235, you have to start each machine manually. There doesn't appear to be any way for it to continue feeding itself from the one before it. But other than that, very good build. I do like the fact it tiles. It's actually the only one out of the submitted ones that does tile. And that's pretty much it for that. So we can move over to this one. And that one, by the way, was made by Big Joe Monger. This one is Madden Tor, I think. And this one we couldn't quite figure, because the blueprint actually came just like this without the underground, so we're not actually quite sure what's supposed to be happening there.
Otherwise, it just sits on the belt, and yeah, it just sits there.
Yeah, so we just took a guess and decided, well, maybe it undergrounds to this belt or goes into a chest or something. You could do that too, where it merges. This one's quite simple. One thing I do like about it is that it does not require any combinators. It bases off of the exportation of the 238 actually, because these inserters here are set to read their hand contents, and then the export inserters essentially say when these grab the 238 from the machine, it can export that one, and their stack size is overridden here. So this one is pretty neat. Again, it's not tileable, however, it is very simple, very straightforward, and it does work as long as these belts don't clog up, so you would want to do something with these.
This one motivated me to figure out if I can do it better. So I tried my hand at designing for one of them.
Yeah, so this is a Zuri improved version. If you'd like to go over this, it's very similar and actually still quite simple.
All right, so it can take freely from the U238 belt. The stack inserters are limited to 10 between the two machines. And when it picks up the 238 is when it allows itself to output one 235 onto the belt line. You put on the top half of the 235 belt the output from your ore. And the clever little trick I did here is I have this arithmetic combinator set up as just a memory storage counter, and it counts the 235 that this input inserter pulls in and limits it to exactly 40, which can start the machine, and so you'll never overfill as you stamp this down as you increase production.
Exactly. And just to demonstrate here, this one minus the you got rid of the sources, perfect. So this one does actually tile as well. There is that space in the middle, but it's actually now required because of the combinators. They do stick out a bit, so Zuris will tile perfectly. Obviously, you would want to probably tile it away from your ore input, otherwise you'd have to keep moving your ore input back. But it will tile down, and yeah, it shouldn't really ever jam as long as you are at least doing something with the output at the end so the whole belt doesn't jam. And there you go, perfect. And then as we just explained, these combinators count. You can see this guy counting up. Once he hits 40, this guy's going to stop. It'll move on down the build and continue through.
That's how it's supposed to work anyway.
Yep. And there you go. So that's pretty much it for all of these. We will include, obviously, all these blueprints from the submitted ones, as well as Zuri's improved design here, obviously without the creative sources. And yeah, I believe that does it. Do you have any thoughts for any of these, Zuri, that I may have forgot?
No, we pretty much got it all.
All right. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave any thoughts you have down in the comments. And until next time, we will catch you later.
Later.